Thanks for checking out the BoshNRoll channel. If you want to support what's going on here while getting amazing perks like the Discord community, have me play your deck, and my list and sideboard guides before tournaments, join the Patreon or YouTube membership. This channel is made possible by these amazing sponsors. Check them out and support them. Their links are in the video description. Thanks again for being here. Now let's go play some Magic. Welcome back to the BoshNRoll channel. Today I'm playing Legacy, and I have for you from Patreon subscriber Brendan, Cephalid Breakfast. Funny story from behind the scenes, I actually have a Dealer's Choice League ahead of this in my recording queue, and I was looking around at decks that I haven't really featured on the channel and want to try myself, and I came to Cephalid Breakfast, and I was going to use that as this Dealer's Choice, and then realized right behind that in the queue, Brendan had already asked me to play it. So thanks, Brendan, and everyone else is going to get a different deck on the channel, because this worked out so well. But anyway, this is the Cephalid Illusionist combo deck that existed in the early 2000s, was kind of good in, I believe it was its standard format. It might have been extended. I wasn't really playing competitive back then, but I was aware of this combo. Whenever Illusionist becomes a target of a spell or ability, mill 3 cards. And then there's some flavor text. The joke here is targeting your own Cephalid Illusionist with 0-cost targeting effects, like Nomad's Encore, or equipping Shuko to it, until you mill your whole deck. At which point, you will have milled 3 Narcomoebas, and there will be a Thassa's Oracle in the graveyard, at which point you can Dread Return. There's even 1 Cabal Therapy. So if you're unprotected on your combo, you should have exactly 4 creatures in play between the Illusionist and the 3 Narcomoebas to Cabal Therapy and still Dread Return. If you went off with Nomads, you'll actually have an extra creature, but there's only 1 therapy, so that doesn't matter. The Thassa's Oracle win. This is one of the many decks that was improved by Thassa's Oracle's printing in Theros Beyond Death. This deck used to win with Sutured Ghoul and Dragon's Fury. Is that what that card's called? It's an enchantment that grants haste, and if a creature with mana value 7 or greater enters the battlefield, it equips or enchants it automatically from your graveyard. So you just get a gigantic Sutured Ghoul and attack with it right away. Thassa's Oracle, much cleaner, of course. Just like it's much cleaner in every deck that chooses to play it. This deck, in its current iteration, is insanely efficient. I'm really impressed with it every time I play against it. It's kind of a joke that's not really a joke in my channel comments that I've never beaten Cephalid Breakfast, and honestly, I think my win rate with any deck, just all decks I've ever played, is probably close to 10%. Against Cephalid Breakfast, they seem to always be able to thread the needle, and it's because this deck is so efficient. You have your 4 Illusionists, and then you also have 2 Step Through that can cycle to get the Illusionist. And then you have 5 ways to target Illusionist, which you functionally have 6 copies of. And among those 5 ways to target Illusionist, Stoneforge Mystic can get the Shuko. So that's 3 extra ways. And Urza Saga can get the Shuko. That's 3 extra ways. Urza Saga can also just make constructs and nickel and dime someone who's holding up a bunch of removal, trying to make sure they don't get comboed out. If you expect your opponent to take that line, you could just get Kaldra with Stoneforge Mystic instead and make them deal with that while you're quietly assembling the combo in the background. All of that assuming you don't have one of your 3 copies of Teferi Time Raveler in play where you know they can't do anything. And this is a 4 Force of Will, 4 days tempo deck as well. Like tempo combo. This thing is a murder machine. Several months ago, Yorion Breakfast was a really popular deck. It was just much bigger, had a more fleshed out sort of Death and Taxes package with Stoneforge Mystic and Recruiter of the Guard and stuff. And during that era, I remember having a conversation on the Eternal Glory podcast where we were like, why is this deck playing 80 cards? What if it just focused on its combo? Wouldn't it be insane? And guess what? It sure is. And due to my recording schedule, this is the first league I've recorded since Expressive Iteration and White Plume Adventurer were banned. So we're through that. Sorry for the week and a half, 2 weeks of lag time there where you were watching a dead format, but that's what happens when you release a video every day. I can't record in the morning for a 10 a.m. release every single day, so there's a bit of a lag time when things change. But we're here. We're in the new format. Let's go try it out. This is Brendan's Cephalid Breakfast. I'm on the draw for round 1. I have a Brainstorm to fix this hand. I can pretty happily pitch Narcomoeba to Force of Will, and I got Stoneforge Mystic to do stuff. I'm going to keep this. There's not a straight line to the combo, but I'm just an illusionist away. And Stoneforge can grab Cauldra because I already have Shuko, and I can present that plan and then see what they do about that, and then move forward with my life. Opponent mulled to 5. Let's see if it's combo or unlucky. Urza Saga. Could be either still. I think I just run out my Shuko here. This could be a Chalice of the Void deck. It could be a Pithing Needle deck. But I want to invest this mana now, because now if I top deck Illusionist, I just win. Why have a 3-mana combo in your deck if you're not going to cast out the pieces? Alright, opponent's doing Saga stuff. Ancient Tomb Saga. I think I want a Stoneforge here, because Stoneforge can put Cauldra in front of Saga tokens and buy me basically infinite time against those. I'm still sitting on Force of Will, and then I can Brainstorm and Jam Illusion next turn if I find it. Cauldra in hand, let's go. We don't know exactly what flavor of Saga this is. We could get Tendrils next turn from like a Tony Scaponi's Saga Storm. This could be some mono brown Mystic Forge deck. Could be Painter. We just don't know yet. Could be lands, just green, red, or mono green lands. All these cards. No, we haven't really learned anything yet. We learned they're not making a second construct. Okay, this is someone who wants to use their mana this turn and not planning to go on a beatdown strat. Okay, you're Painter. Got it. Well, Force of Will. Let's see if they have Monkey Red Blast. They did not. That's good news. They take my 2. Watch them Red Blast this Brainstorm now. That would be so funny. Okay, Brainstorm. I found Illusionist. They didn't have Red Blast last turn. They could have Lightning Bolt. That's a card that they could conceivably have in their hand and deck that would interrupt me here, but would not interrupt me last turn. I'm going to put back Island and Flooded Strand. And I'm going to make Cauldra this turn. Or if they attack, I'll make Cauldra this turn. I don't want to tap out if they find another Painter. But next turn I'm going to Cabal Therapy, Lightning Bolt, and then go off. Uh-oh. Well, this is what I didn't want. If they simply... What do they have to do here? Play an Ancient Tomb? A card they could totally have. What are my outs here? It's just Force of Will, right? There's no Plow in my main deck. Okay, I'm going to Brainstorm now. Alright, too easy. I'll put back Cauldra because it's no longer part of the game. And Force Pitch Brainstorm. Take another 2. And the great thing about Cabal Therapy is even if I pick wrong, I still can just flashback with the Stoneforge and then go off. I'm going to name Lightning Bolt first because I think that's more likely. If they are sandbagging a Pyroblast, then I flashback with Stoneforge. Lightning Bolt. Oh, they did have a Pyroblast. Very, very interesting. Yeah, that was really impressive patience. They could have shoved their Painter through and just didn't instead. Okay, let's take this Pyroblast. The hand is 2 Goblin Welders, and you are deceased. This thing has come up a couple times on my channel where people are like, why did you concede? You can't target Illusionist. Yeah, people are like, why did you concede? You need 2 creatures to move equipment back and forth, and you don't. The reason that is in people's heads, and I even was confused by it at first, was the most famous 0 mana equip cost is Lightning Greaves, which gives your creature Shroud, which means that you can't target it with a re-equip, but you can just spam Shuko activations. My opponent said in the chat, sorry, I just want to see your deck. Of course, that is your right as an opponent who's dying to Cephalid breakfast to see what my main deck looks like. You do get to see every card here. I got 2 left, and now they're all gone. Somewhere in here there should be a Dread Return and a Thassa's Oracle, and yep, we're good. Cool. Pick your spot with Cabal Therapy. Okay, we're playing against Painter, which I believe I want Swords to Plowshares in against. And maybe even Prismatic Ending. All the Hydroblasts are good too. Uh-oh. Now you get to watch the Smooth Brain Control player try to sideboard with a combo deck. I think Daze is probably below where we want to be against the Ancient Tomb deck that can permanents into play without casting spells. Step Through seems good. Force of Will was clutch that game. They are a combo deck also, though. And I don't have that many discard spells. It's just Cabal Therapy, and they have a lot of Red Blasts I have to get through. So there's two ways I can go with that, which is max out on Force of Will to punch through the Pyroblast, or cut Force of Will because it's bad against Pyroblast, and then play to the board and let Hydroblast and Teferi do my work. I think that makes sense to me. Just cut all the counters, play to the board. A thing that I've now said 3 times in this sideboarding exercise in 1 minute. There's still one more card that I need to cut. Maybe I go 3 Plow, 2 Ending, 3 Hydroblast. I'm very happy to just snap off Plow on a Goblin Welder, work my way up to the Painter. I feel like Stoneforge is important. Like putting Cauldra into the game makes them take that sidestep. I can't just cut the Cauldra and play Honest Combo, make it too easy on them. Especially since my combo dies to Pyroblast, a card they play 7 of. Maybe it's Step Through. Yeah, I feel like I might be the 4th Plow, but I am going to cut a Step Through. And the fact that I need to defend against a combo full of cards that are good against my deck makes me feel like I should slow down a little bit, not speed up. Island Ponder. Let's go. Goblin Welder. I'm likely to blast that. Ooh, Saga. I like that. Do I think this opponent's going to moon me? And do I care if they do? Might as well play around it. I'm just playing Ponder next turn anyway. Blast this Welder. I'm just doing it now before they can counter my blast with theirs. And Urza Saga gets Shuko, and I'm holding Illusionist, so we've got forward momentum here. They did not take the bait on blasting Ponder. I'm going to shuffle this. I have land drops. I don't have white for that Prismatic Ending, which is the card I'd want out of that mix. And if they moon me here, I'm in trouble, because I have Urza Saga in play. Okay, just another Welder, which they didn't play last turn, so it was clearly the draw this turn. I do not like how exposed to Pyroblast I am, but I think shoving Teferi here plays pretty well. Because if they don't answer Teferi, I have Teferi in play, and if they do answer Teferi, it's 1 less Pyroblast for my win attempt next turn. Oh god, we're just in there on Teferi. I'm going to send the Welder. This way Teferi dies to Lightning Bolt, but I don't want Welder in play. Yeah, there's Bolt, sure. And then did not replay Welder. They are showing me the Pyroblast. Loud and clear. Message received. I can play 2 different Illusionists this turn. I'll get Shuko. And then play my land. Play Illusionist. Start trying to go for it. Actually going to fetch first before... Okay. They have the Lightning Bolt. As long as I don't mill all of my blue sources on this mill 6, I'm in business. I guess they could have Surgical, but I'm spamming here. Back up. Wow, this deck. Absolutely brutal. Yeah, I get it. On to the next round. If you've ever wanted to learn how to play poker, there's no better way than PokerCoaching.com's Master the Fundamentals course, which I'm excited to give all of you for free. This course is separated into 19 short sections that will make sure you understand everything you need to know to play well and beat your friends. The first section is on the rules of the game, then you'll learn about hand ranges, equity, basic strategies, and a whole lot more. By the end of the course, you'll know everything you need to know in order to give you the best chance of success at No Limit Hold'em. Check out the link in the video description to PokerCoaching.com/free crash course. I'm on the play in round 1 with... Brainstorm, Ponder, Force of Will, Daze. This hand needs some action, but it's in no danger of dying. I'm gonna basic Island Ponder here. With Daze in my hand, unlike my normal control decks, where I like to hold the Ponder until turn 2, see if the deck gives me my land drop anyway, this one, I do want to spend the mana in case I have to Daze. Pretty happy with finding a Saga there. Sucks that I didn't fetch Tundra. Playing around Wasteland just cost me a turn 2 Stoneforge. Another Saga deck of some kind. Gonna Ponder again. Okay, now we're cooking. I'll drop my Saga too. Let's get that going. And I don't mind dazing because I'm not going to make constructs anyway. I'm going to play Stoneforge next turn and then have double daze up. A Marsh Flats. Is this the mirror? Seems likely. Okay. Old Cephalid mirror. Force pitching Baleful Strix. Okay, so their list isn't exactly mine. Force pitching this Narc Amoeba. Okay. Your junk is clear. Now the real question, am I a hero or a zero? Do I get Cauldra and just try to beat up on this player who's kind of farting around? Or do I get Shuko and try to max out? Oh, I can get Shuko next turn. What am I even saying? I get Cauldra and then Saga gets Shuko. This was actually not even a difficult choice at all. Their Saga pops first. If they have another Illusionist, well, they need a land and an Illusionist to kill me here. Okay, if they have another Illusionist, I'm dead. I will daze a Teferi. Yeah, that is a likely 3-mana spell they would have. Okay, let's draw Illusionist for turn and just win. That would be great. Not an Illusionist, unfortunately. I'll just float mana, grab a Shuko, and then with this Tundra, put in Cauldra, equip Shuko, and attack for 6. Okay, in we go. We fended off a combo, but they are sitting with Shuko in play, and I'm out of gas here. They only have 2 turns to figure it out, but as we've learned, this deck is pretty redundant. Ponder, okay. Chose to shuffle, another Ponder. Ponder is pretty good on the turn before you're dead, looking for exactly 1 game piece. I'm pretty worried, not gonna lie. Chose not to shuffle. Oh no. Alright, come on, deck. I get my own Ponder this time. I'm gonna brainstorm first. Put back Plains and Island, and then cast Ponder. I'm looking for Force of Will. Illusionist doesn't matter. Okay, I didn't find it. We could die here. Okay, you're at 5. Am I dead, or are you dead? I guess if they found Teferi, I should have kept the Illusionist. Because Teferi can clear Cauldra, buy them a ton of time, but then Illusionist just slides in and wins the game. I could still Ponder for Illusionist next turn, if I get a next turn. Alright, we're dead. I would like to look at their list, but I've lost the game. They had Baleful Strix, so they're at least a little bit different than me. Though they have Aether Vial as well. Okay, yeah, that's something my list is not doing, which is not an unusual card for this archetype. They have a Cabal Therapy, which can check my hand. They have multiple therapies. Okay. Worm's Chant, fascinating. They're Cabal Therapying me. And then it looks like they're holding their Dread Return. It's not in the graveyard, is it? I don't see it. They don't have enough creatures. Was I right to play it out? Oh, they said in the chat, of course I drew my Dread Return. Well, then you needed to Cabal Therapy yourself, naming Dread Return, and still have 3 creatures left. Oh, wow. I guess we're going to win this one. Okay, not to roast my opponent here, but Cabal Therapy is in the deck partially to get Dread Return out of your hand if you draw it. If you only have 4 creatures, you can't waste time checking me for Force of Will. I would have forced the Illusionist. I'm not letting you do all this. Get your multiple therapies into play and then forcing your Dread Return. You got to point that one at yourself. Okay, glad we played it out. Reed Duke was right. Okay, what's not in their deck that is in mine? Because they have Baleful Strixes and Aether Vials and Worm's Chants and all sorts of junk. They don't have Step Through. I only see 2 Teferis. They have Scrubland. Do I have a Scrubland? I didn't think so. No. Okay, they have more therapies than me. Baleful Strix, Aether Vial. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in that deck that I don't have. Okay, Source of Plowshares and Surgical, I think, come in. Daze was pretty tight that game. The Teferi's kind of interesting because if we shave these Dazes, I'm softer to Teferi because I can't beat up on a 3-drop as easily, but I'm stronger against Teferi because I don't have shitty Daze in my deck. I think Force of Will is essential. I like having Cauldra as the side juke. Did we see a Cauldra out of them? Or are they just not having the backup plan at all? If they do have that backup plan, it's either in their hand or in their sideboard. Gotta cut 2 cards. I guess I'll cut another step through and just try to play the control role here. Can I cut a Nomad? I don't think I ever want to cut an Illusionist, but between the Sagas and Stoneforges, I have way more zeros than I have Illusionists. Okay, I have answers to stuff. I have half my combo. My Dread returns in my hand, but I can Cabal Therapy myself. Ponder. And now that I know they're not a Wasteland deck, I can just lead on my Tundra and not get slowed down like I did last game by having basic Island, Saga, and Stoneforge I can't play. Do I want to just run my Nomad out, actually? No, I'm going to Ponder. I decided in sideboarding I was going to take a control roll, and I'll try to stick to that. I think this sucks too hard. I'm going to shuffle it. Rewarded with a Brainstorm. Swords to Plowshares is good against their combo, but if they take the time to Teferi me first, then it doesn't matter. And those 2 lands are just not helping me at all. Baleful Strix, you got it. Force of Will is in my hand. I can play around Daze, so I will. I'm going to make a land drop anyway. This is only a punish if I draw Saga, which I didn't. I did find Illusionist. If I find a blue card, I can do it with protection. I would rather leave up Plow this turn and give myself 2 lines of defense against their combo. Because I have Force and Plow right now, and they're untapping into the lethal 3 mana. Saga is in. Illusionist resolves. In my end step, I'll fetch. I'll grab Tundra and try to Plow this thing right now. And I know they can Daze, but I think that's okay. Because anything they use to fight over their Illusionist in their end step is something they don't have to fight over my Illusionist in my main phase. Didn't draw the blue card. I am not going to go for this without the blue card. I'm going to Stoneforge for Aldre here. Or do I get Shuko? No, because Plow breaks up the Illusionist even if I have Nomads and Shuko. Stoneforge Mystic. I think I will run out Nomads, though. Ooh, Force of Will pitching Narcomoeba. Don't mind that. Okay, now I'm not going to run out Nomads. If you're forcing Stoneforges. Does that tell me your hand is full of answers, or your hand is empty and you're just desperate to stop anything from happening? It could be either way. This turn will tell me a lot. Teferi. I think, rather than force this, I'm going to ignore it and try to win. If my blue card was anything other than the Illusionist itself, I would send it, but I'm going to chill. They've used their land drop. They forced already. Or, they didn't use their land drop. They had 3 already. Okay. Well, now I'm in trouble to a Plow. A fun sequencing thing here. If you play Nomad first, then they can't Plow your Illusionist. Okay, here we are. They appear to have something. Off Underground Sea. Oh, Emergency Brainstorm. Hook that to my veins. That's so much better than a Plow. Now their only hit is Force of Will. I can pay for Days. They had it, though. Boring. Alright, fine. We'll keep playing the game, I guess. They can tutor a Shuko this turn. They know their stuff's protected, so... Got my shot. I'm not fetching in response. If they get Pithing Needle instead of Shuko, I'm happy with that. Very plus. Mana in the pool. Brainstorm. Uh-oh. 1 card left. What is it? They're fetching. Is it a Ponder? It is a Ponder. Show me a shuffle. Shuffle, shuffle. They did not shuffle. I hate my life. God damn. Well, they fucked up last time. Let's see it again. And we get to look at their sideboard. There's Dread Return. It's a cool old border version. Nice. Orange Chant still in the deck. Force of Negation brought in. Interesting. No important part of the combo is a non-creature. Maybe they just value Teferi highly in the matchup, which, I mean, it is good. Flusterstorm is in for them. Multiple Flusterstorms, Surgical Extraction, Force of Negation on top of Force of Will. Alright, they got me this time. Let's go to a game 3 that probably shouldn't be happening. Maybe taking the full control posture is just bad, and I need my redundant Illusionist. Because the player who drew the second Illusionist won that game. And now I'm on the play where Daze is better. But I just brought in a Step Through. What am I going to cut for that? Is it one of the Surgicals? Because I don't really want to let them combo. So if you counter an Illusionist, then Surgical it. That's also a soft win con, because then they have to win with Baleful Strix beats. We still haven't seen a call draw to them. Okay, I'm going to do it like this with one Surgical and maximum Illusionist. I wonder if I'm supposed to have my Prismatic Endings in because we saw Aether Vial. But where are you getting all this deck space? I struggled enough to present the deck that I did. I'm keeping this hand. I think Teferi is secretly the best card in the matchup. And hang out on this Brainstorm. Ponder. I'm glad that's not Aether Vial. Goes to not shuffle their library. A Swords to Plowshares. Well, they can't turn to me. If they daze this Brainstorm, I don't think I care. I'm going to Brainstorm now. Oh, there's a pause. They were thinking about it. Force of Will, Dread Return back in the deck. Unfortunately, I did not draw a shuffle, so I can't get rid of this Dread Return. I'll have to do that in the combo. But here's Shuko. Set up the combo for next turn. With Force backup because I could pitch Teferi, or I could spend a turn deploying Teferi. See what they do. Because we have seen Surgical in their deck, which means that even if I get the Illusionist in, I don't necessarily win. I'm going to go for Teferi. I still have a blue card to force if I really need to, but wow, do I not want to do that. Force pitching Strix. Okay. Teferi did his job of clearing Force of Will. They shove a Teferi this turn. I guess I just have to combo and hope it works. Okay. Ponder's great. I'm not getting comboed. They're not playing Teferi. Top card of my deck is Dread Return. That sucks. They did not shuffle their library. I'm not just going to jam here. I'd like another blue card before I make a move. I have Plow. I'm chilling. Brainstorm. They're drawing better than I am, but I'm drawing Wild next turn. I got through my Brainstorm lock. Land. They could Teferi. They could try to combo. There's Illusionist. I'm going to Plow, because if they force my Plow, it's a force they don't have on my turn. Build a second Illusionist and mill the Surgical, and we only saw one. That's exciting news. 2 Illusionists gone and Surgical out. Okay, now I can hardcast Force. I'm taking my time on this. It's all here. I'm not in immediate danger of losing. Let's not get antsy. Okay, this one, it's now or never on the Force. Cast Force of Will. That's gone. I would like my own Teferi now, and then win the game exactly. Aldra, not quite. This is so frustrating. We've seen Plow. I expect they have it. Maybe this just isn't getting better, but Teferi wins the game. Their Surgical's gone. No, I'm gonna be patient. Maybe I'm a coward, but the Dread Return being in my hand so I don't even get to therapy them is extra shitty. Baleful Strix, their mid-range strat paying off here. If I draw my Cabal Therapy, I can go for it. I just name Swords to Plowshares. I ponder. Find me some gas. There's my Cabal Therapy. Okay. Cabal Therapy. Do not shuffle my library. Therapy, you name Swords to Plowshares, and let's get out of here. Blusterstorm. Okay. I am going to pay. I will invest in next turn. Swords to Plowshares is the name. How do we do? They have 2 Nomads and a Plow, so I was right. And I gotta hope they don't draw Illusionist right now. Okay, there's a Nomads. Another Nomads. And Strix is getting in. Okay, I knew about this Ponder. There's another Ponder on top of my deck. I guess I just Illusionist here. There's not another way to go. If I Ponder and find Teferi, that's not enough, because I don't have enough mana. Alright, cool. Yeah, I just took my time, suspected the Plow, played around it, and we worked our way through. There was risk involved. If they drew an Illusionist, then they got me, but yeah. I think it's safe to say we outplayed this opponent. No offense to them, but they pointed their Cabal Therapy in the wrong spot when they had the win in game 1, and then game 3, I just identified that 2 of their Illusionists were gone, and I could take my time. Cool. On to the next one. You come here to level up at Magic. To level up as a software engineer, check out the new YouTube series Dev Better, hosted by the founder of 7-Factor Software and Magic player, Jeremy Duvall. 7-Factor's small teams of high-performing engineers build custom mobile apps, APIs, and highly scalable systems for Fortune 500 companies and ambitious startups with great ideas. If you'd like to hire 7-Factor, or maybe join their team, contact them through their website at 7factor.io. And don't forget to subscribe to 7-Factor's YouTube for every episode of Dev Better. I'm on the play against a Yorion strategy. You ban a couple cards and people think Death and Taxes is good again. What are you going to do? I'm going to mulligan this hand, though. It has too many Narcomoebas and no action. This hand has the same number of Narcomoebas in it, but it does have Brainstorm and Saga. I'll keep this, and I think I'm actually more worried about Dread Return in my hand than Narcomoeba. No, that's not true, because I can Therapy the Dread Return anytime, but Narcomoeba has to be in my deck for the mill. Okay, that makes sense. And I am going to lead on Plains. If this is Death and Taxes, I don't want my first mana source wasted. And they're going to get the Urza Saga anyway, so maybe that didn't make sense. But here's Urza Saga. And Death and Taxes it is. That is not a Wasteland. Saga ticks up. I have Daze. A little late to the party here. They now have Vial on 2, which represents Spirit of the Lab, so Brainstorm is a liability. They can attack fearlessly, because of Thalia's First Strike. Card just does everything. And they made no land drop, so we know they have 6 cards in hand. 6 actual cards. Saga token. Saga token. I am going to try to beef up on this board and just outstat them. Grab the Shuko. Now they know what I'm up to, in case there was any doubt. Shuko on the Construct. Show me that Swords to Plowshares. I think I'll Daze it, if they do. Yeah. I'll Daze that, pick up my non-basic land. Daze was not doing great for this game anyway. If I can put some heat on my opponent, I'll take it. Probably should have moved the Shuko to the blocking creature, it's just free to do. Not sure how much that matters, but it is just free and should have been done. No attack, no play, no Vial. 3 is the scary number though, so we're not out of the woods here. But 3 means that they can't Vial in Spirit of the Lab. Could fire off Brainstorm here. I could just cast Narcomoeba and Nomads. Flicker Wisp obliterates me in combat, so I can't do that. I think I want to Therapy them. Because if they Vial in response, if it's Recruiter, I just name whatever they get with Recruiter. If they don't Vial in response, I could name Recruiter. Or I could name Flicker Wisp and know what's going on in combat. Plow in response, sure. And then I'm going to name Recruiter and hope I'm right. Skyclave Apparition was the one. And then they have Thalia Loran. Okay. Actually pretty stacked hand. Path to Exile, Jesus. Alright. I guess I'll Cabal Therapy. Since this creature is dead anyway. Let's at least collect a card for our trouble. It went with Loran, that kills my Shuko, sure. And then I named Skyclave Apparition with the other one. Oh, I did get a Recruiter. I didn't even see it there. I guess it was already gone. Skyclave Apparition. In your hand is Thalia, Path to Exile. And I'm behind, but better than it was. Thalia, Path to Exile land. They can grab the Yorion this turn. And we'll see if they want to get squirrely with Loran and try to draw extra cards here. Alright. Yeah, they can't get Yorion because then they die to my combo. Right. That's an important thing to consider. And now I have Brainstorm. I can get rid of this Narcomoeba and Dread Return. There's Illusionist. Narcomoeba, Dread Return, get out. And then Nomads get in, fetching Tundra. Hope I can bait the path here. So it would be pretty silly to path here, actually. Unless they want to start, unless they're getting impatient and want to start using their mana on Yorion. Alright, deal. Okay, their shields are down. I have Illusionist. I don't have Shuko currently. 1 card in hand is Thalia plus whatever they just drew. My life total is robust. They did not tick up Vial, so they're not moving in the direction of Yorion. Okay. They did not tick up Vial, but did grab Yorion. This fucking deck. Hooking me up with the goods. If they find Caracas. They actually have me kind of locked with Caracas, Vial, Lauren. Oh, it does the flavor text? It would be dealt to and dealt by target creature you control. I guess, yeah, I could have played this and just stuffed up the board a little bit. Because next turn I can activate it, and it's a reasonable blocker. Interesting. Another Vial. Okay, deck. Hit me with the goods. Stoneforge, Nomads. Another Illusionist. Well, I don't want to step through the Loran, which it's funny that bouncing is even a consideration. Oh, they can Vial in Dorian next turn anyway. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. I guess I play an Illusionist here, and I can make a construct. Thassa's Oracle is the only other wizard in the deck. Ooh, we're both drawing a card. Hook it up. All right. Plenty of Illusionists. They can Vial in Yorion, and then Lauren kills Urza Saga. Kind of a bummer. Step through is a sorcery, so I can't bounce two things on short notice. Umazawa's Jitte. Well, that card's not beatable. Oh, but they can't equip unless they have a land. Of course they have a land. Okay, literally cannot do anything about this. Oh, they're attacking with Lauren. That seems questionable. Okay, so making a blocker for Lauren. Block. And then I'll have 3 Illusionists for next turn. Unless they Vial in now and break up combat. Yeah, they should definitely do this. Okay. Tough beat. Lauren will come back in, destroy Urza Saga just in time for me to not be able to deploy all 4 of my Illusionists in one turn. Okay, they're Jitang my Illusionist in response to my fetch. Get Tundra. And the Illusionist milled, or yeah, that targeting that Illusionist milled my last Illusionist, so step through only gets Thassa's Oracle here. Which 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I can cast step through. Or I could cycle it for the Oracle, maximize my draws, and I do have enough mana to cast Illusionist, and Oracle. Yeah, I guess if my hand gets empty, it's all the same. Let's go. Now or never. Oh, where did this come from? How many of these do I play? Oh, it was Jitte, not Plow. That's what happened. Okay, then I'm getting an Illusionist. Yeah, that Illusionist in my graveyard just broke my brain. Come on, Nomads. Or Shuko. I need Shuko, actually. Oh, God. Well, I'm dead to Yorion, so I'm going to concede this game, but I did punt it by not running out the first Illusionist. I did not remember the prevent all combat damage mode on this card, and that would have actually stopped the counters on the Jitte, bought me a little bit of time, and who knows what one more turn would have brought. A Plow and Ending come in. I don't really like Daze against Death and Taxes. And I do like Force and Step Through. Aldra's never gonna work, right? This deck is full of Flicker Wisps and shit. Plows, whatever. Yeah, this is the hardest sideboarding yet. I think I'm gonna cut a Cauldra and a Stoneforge and just try to be a combo deck. Backed by Force of Will and Teferi. Keep pondering a bunch of Teferis. I'm going to keep access to a Shuko. And I will basic Island Ponder here. I know what I'm looking for. It's Illusionist. That's a Shuko that I actively don't want, but I will take the Brainstorm in the land. This land goad me. Fetch basic Plains and jam the Stoneforge. Shout out to BoshNRoll Patreon member Jam Stoneforge. That's their username in our Discord. It's good advice. Schadenport, okay. And Thalia. Thalia's a bummer, as she tends to be. Do I deploy the Shuko? If they do anything to answer Shuko, then they're not for Schadenporting. 2/2 creature, let's go. They're getting their beats in, committing to the race. Brackus is pretty strong. That keeps Thalia alive forever. Schadenport's going to take me off white. I guess I Brainstorm in response. No, I think main phase Brainstorm is still just better. Nomads, okay. Yeah, main facing the Brainstorm gets me a card deeper, which is what I actually want here. That's a lot of spells. I'll put back the 2 Teferis and cast Nomads here. Start building it up. I'm miles away from doing anything, but they don't need to know that. Deck for 2. Move my Shuko over. Not that I'm blocking, but there it is. Wasteland, tilt. And I am winning the damage race, though. If they don't do something else to add to the board, I am attacking for 3 a turn, and they're attacking for 2. Oh, I could have killed Thalia here if I redirect the damage to Stoneforge. But that gets blown out by, like, everything. Boarding my white again. I'm drawing a Teferi, the first of many. And attack with my creatures. I'm not going to Prismatic Ending. I'm not going to Plow yet, because they could just pick her up with Caracas and replay her. I need to fade another Wasteland here. Thalia connects. God damn. Okay. If they bounce and replay Thalia, then I can Prismatic Ending her because they can't port me this turn. See how they want to play this one. And if they don't replay her, they did replay her. Okay, kill this Thalia. And the Thalia trick, I announce Prismatic Ending for 0. Thalia makes me pay 1 more. Converge doesn't care where the mana came from, just that it was paid, so I get to exile a Thalia for 2, even though my spell costs 1 more. Swords to Plowshares, okay. Another Thalia, not okay. Alright, deck, give me that land. Now's the time. Let's stick this to Fairy. Ponder. Alright, a pile of lands. I will take all of them, thank you. Urza Saga in, equip the Shuko, and pass the turn. I can Teferi next turn through the Rishadan port, but not if they have another Wasteland. Even up the life totals here. They're hitting land drops now. Flicker Wisp. What does this do? Untaps one of their lands? Yeah. Okay. They can port me and still protect Thalia, is the line here. You want to go after Saga? Okay. Yep. Makes sense. Cool. Okay, so Teferi is going to get to show up, bounce Flicker Wisp, actually impact the board, and draw me a card on the way through. Underground Sea, play Teferi. I am going to bounce Flicker Wisp, take my card. Another Saga. Happy to see it. So I got some options here. I can keep pressuring their life total, and I lose Teferi. If I don't attack, they can Flicker Wisp my Stoneforge and attack through anyway. But Flicker Whipping Stoneforge isn't even that bad, though I am getting the Shuko next turn anyway. I think I'm just going to keep pressuring their life total. The Fairy mostly did his job of draw a card and take some pressure off. And I can make a construct this turn even if they port me. Especially if they port me, actually. And if they don't replay the Flicker, I have the Cabal Therapy to clear it. There it is. Doing the untap a land trick again. Okay, where's Rishadan Port going? If anywhere. Okay, Rishadan Port did not go anywhere, which I considered was a possibility. I am going to make a construct. I'm going to tutor Shuko. I'm going to play the other Saga and try to become Creature Beats. Play another Saga. They're porting my Saga in response to it arriving. Okay, that does deny me a mana for the turn. But now I can Cabal Therapy, and they can't plow in response. I'm going to name Swords to Plowshares. Let's get a look at what they're cooking with over here. Okay, went for the Solitude pitch. We got 2 cards off this Cabal Therapy. Clearing my construct. Still going to name Swords to Plowshares, I think. Even though they're down 1 in their 80 card deck, it's still the card I'm worried about. Path to Exile. Great. Got me good. I'll attack you for 3. And they are taking the block. That's good news. Recruiter of the Guard is a bad card to bounce with the Fairy, though. But if they Recruiter and port, then they can't path. And if they don't port, then I get a construct. There is a lot to manage for my opponent right now. Okay, Recruiter it is. I guess they could get another Solitude and cover both bases. They tap their Caracas to do this, though. Weird. Why leave up Caracas the whole game and then decide now is not the time? I guess if you're going to port me anyway, it doesn't matter. That's probably what they're thinking. Okay. Lauren plus Karakas does kill my 2 Shukos over the next 2 turns, and I only have 2 Shukos in the deck. Oh, they had another Karakas. All right, that also explains it. And then Lauren kills Saga. Sure. That makes sense too. Yeah, I'm bleeding out here. I'm gonna bounce Thalia, get a card. Okay, I can force. They don't have enough to bounce Lauren and cast Thalia. I would rather force Lauren than Thalia, but we'll see where it goes. Do I just force nothing? Because, yeah, I force this Path to Exile. I try to rip Illusionist. I have exactly enough to get ported Illusionist and force the path. All right, Illusionist off the top for the win. Gross. If 5 in play, I can only take 1 more hit. And Dread Return's in my hand, and Thalia's in play, so I don't even know that I can win if I rip the Illusionist. Porting my white again. Okay, didn't matter. We're just dead. Death and Taxes back in the metagame. I did not miss this deck at all. I wish the initiative would have killed this permanently, but yeah, it's back. And got me nice and picked apart there. On to the next round. For the absolute best Magic the Gathering apparel on the market, check out the link in the video description to coalesceapparel.shop, and be sure to use the code BoshNRoll for 10% off when you check out. I'm on the draw for round 4. I've got a Ponder, a Daze, a Stoneforge. I'm going to keep. There's that Dread Return in my hand again. This is the Progenitus. The Progenitus in Elves. This is what's happening. Every time I play Progenitus in Elves, I draw the Progenitus in the opening hand. So this is a Brainstorm deck, so we're a little better off. I'm also just looking at the Art of Dread Return for the first time in my life, even though I've played with and against this card thousands of times. It looks like a Mind Slicer is jumping out of the graveyard in front of a person on horseback. Mind Slicer was such a badass when I was a kid. Shout out to Mind Slicer. Okay. The game is ready. My opponent kept 7. Oh no. My hand is not good against Chalice of the Void. And there it is. Cool. In Stoneforge Mystic for Cauldron is historically pretty good against Chalice of the Void. We'll just have to see what the follow-up is. That's the important one. Okay, Force of Will makes the follow-up less relevant. Now I don't have to daze the thing, and I can easily pitch the Ponder that I can't cast anyway, and then I can force this turn and daze next turn. Oh, it's 8 cast, sure. Mox Opal. Glad I'm not relying on daze. Sweet. Googa Mooga. Oh, Lion's Eye Diamond. Please jam that. Coward. Okay, so they're probably casting Hull Breacher now, and then they'll wheel next turn. Illusionist, okay. That's a big deal. I'm still going to lead on the Stoneforge, because I think that putting Cauldron onto this game state will shake my opponent into some action. And if they commit to this Lion's Eye Diamond, whatever it's doing, too early, I'm going to let them have Hull Breacher. I don't intend to draw cards this game, but I do intend on getting Echo of Eons. I'm going to grab Cauldron. And hopefully they think that because the the Hull Breacher resolve that I don't have Force. Your own Saga, behind the gun on that one. Dismember. Well, that is a problem, but not really. I can still cast Illusionist. I'm just going to ignore everything they do until my Saga poops out the Shuko, and then win. Oh wait, am I going to have to go to discard at some point in this game in order to win it? Yeah, I actually am. Yeah, I have to pass the turn now and discard Dread Return, because I can't wall therapy myself with Chalice in play. Okay, I'm going to go to cleanup, dump the Dread Return, and then win next turn. Glad I caught that. I feel smart for that, I'm not going to lie. This also lets me hardcast Daze and sort of piss them off without committing too much. Okay, let's party. Float a mana. They only have 2 cards in their hand. I have Force backup. If they have Force, I force them. Another land. Cephalid Illusionist. Get in there. And that's that. Unless they have some more Dismembers, I guess. And we're grooving here. It's a Narcomoeba. Another Narcomoeba. The last Narcomoeba. My deck is now empty. I have 1 Force of Will worth of protection. Let's do this thing. Can't Cabal Therapy because of Chalice. Red Return. Target Thassa's Oracle. Sacrifice these Narcomoebas. How'd we do? Pretty good. There are games in your Magic career where you feel like you really just did everything right, and this is one of them. I'm not trying to like circle jerk myself here, but recognizing that I had to win through the Chalice, ignoring the Hull Breacher, realizing I had to go to hand size discard because I couldn't therapy myself. This was a really smoothly played game. I'm gonna pat myself on the back. I think I deserve it. Okay, we're playing against Narset Wheels with Chalice of the Void. I'm more worried about Chalice than I am about the Narset or the Wheels. Force and Negation, probably something I want here. I think I want to ignore Hull Breacher. I'm not going to bring in the Plows. Need my forces. I do like Cauldra as a way to solo versus Chalice of the Void. Shuko is important to have multiple copies of, because if they have a Chalice and I draw one of them, then I can't Brainstorm back into my deck. I would have to Stoneforge and Stoneforge it in. So what are my cuts now? I've been reaching for Step Through a lot, but I think it makes sense. Maybe Teferi is one of the cuts here. I have a lot of counter magic in. And I guess they're an Ancient Tomb. No, it's Daze. They're an Ancient Tomb Mox Opal Lion's Eye Diamond deck. I can't rely on Daze to do anything. I'll leave a couple in, or do I just leave 0 in? On the draw against Chalice, I can't Daze that thing anyway. Yeah, so I'll bring my Step Throughs back in, leave my Teferis. Daze is the cut here on the draw against this big mana deck. No thank you. Okay, I get obliterated by a quick wheel, but I can answer Chalice and I can play through Chalice, and as soon as I find a blue card, I'm feeling good. So I'm going to rock with this. I'll take my chances. Less confidently keeping 7 against an all-in Lion's Eye Diamond deck. They're less likely to go all-in on it. Opponent went to 5. That makes them more likely to jam nonsense if they have it, because that's Desperation mode. Is this just a turn 2 Chalice? Come on, blue card. All right, cool. We got the blue card. Not only did we get blue card, but it's the blue card that wins the game if they don't make me pitch it to force. I don't care about Chalice of the Void at all this game. Or Chalice would slow me down a little bit. Ooh, Cavern on Merfolk. Oh, Hullbreaker's Merfolk. I was like, what's going on here? Did we pivot into an Oracle deck? But no, it's just Hullbreacher. Boring old Hullbreacher. Okay, so I'm going to fetch Tundra, and I'm going to Stoneforge for Shuko, and I can activate Stoneforge to put it in if they have Chalice. I could also Prismatic Ending a Chalice. I could also just force the Chalice, but I think I'd rather save Force for a counterspell out of them. This Mox Opal that they kept in their opening 5 still not online. Emery, she's fine. They milled 2 Force of Wills and an Echo. They're mana short of Echoing right now, and I have the Force to put them in the Shadow Realm. Okay. Chalice on 0 just to try to get an Echo going. This is going to be pretty good. And then they die next turn. Force pitching Ponder. And I have the win in my hand, unless their 1 card in hand is Surgical. At which point I have to hope I hit my Cabal Therapy before I hit any Narcomoebas. No Force of Will. A Shuko. Illusionist. Alright, cool. They're not even going to make me play it out. Their hand is not Surgical, and just beat up a poor fella on a Multi 5. Cool, take it. On to the final round. This deck is really freaking good. We're a few rounds into the video. Thanks for sticking with me. Friendly reminder that if you're still here and having fun, smash that subscribe button. And if you want to play what I'm playing, you can use my affiliate link for TCG Player to support the channel while you shop for cards, and you can try any deck anytime with a cardhoarder.com loan account for Magic Online. All these links are in the video description below. Now back to the league. I'm on the play for the final round. I have 2 layers of protection and a Nomad. No selection, no Illusionist. I think I'm going to keep, though. This hand's got a lot of upside. I even have enough Nomads that I could Cabal Therapy, play Nomad, immediately flash back, and just take a bunch of cards from them if I need to buy time. Or if they indicate to me here that there's something broken, then I need to slow down. Underground Sea. Okay. Something broken, I need to slow down. Noted. Thoughtseize. Ooh. I'm going to let it resolve. They know exactly what deck I am now. No hiding from this. I think there's a good chance they take Therapy here. Unless they're going to jam right now, like Lotus Petal, Dark Ritual, off we go. Then they take a Force. Alright, just took one of the Nomads. That's smart. That means I don't get to Flashback Therapy for free. And now I have to guess right on the front half of Therapy. Oh, Grief. Alright, we're just taking all my Nomads. Grief pitching Death Shadow. Oh, we're Death Shadow. Okay. Alright, that makes it a little trickier. They don't even care about Force of Will. It's not a combo deck. It's just a blue-black tempo deck. And they just clipped all the upside from my hand. Was I supposed to put one of those into play? Turn one? Just hang it out there? Maybe I was. Okay, what cards does Death Shadow play that I might care about? None yet. It's like Force of Will, but not right away. I think I'm just gonna wait on this. They're 6 life away from casting a Death Shadow. I'm not gonna blind name, hope to hit a Ponder, Brainstorm, or whatever. Slow it down. They chose to shuffle. How about a Stoneforge Mystic? That would be a good draw. Narcomoeba, what's up? Okay, I can Therapy with Narcomoeba. I could also pitch it to Force. I'm gonna wait. This being a combo deck, all these resources, while I could pick apart my opponent here if I don't get something going, or if they just hold a Snuff Out if I waste all my interaction now. Baleful Strix, you got it. Another land, not where I want to be. I guess they're not going to snuff out a Narcomoeba. And they can. It just turns on Death Shadow, which I guess is okay. I'm still holding this grip full of interaction. Playing out the Narcomoeba makes future Brainstorms worse. Don't love that. End step, no shuffle Brainstorm from the opponent. They're trying to push here. I'm not going to block this Baleful Strix. Oh no, are we hardcasting Grief? Have we reached that phase of the game? Yuck. I guess I have to force this because it's going to take a card anyway and be a significant presence on the board. If they force back, they get to take my Cabal Therapy. Okay. Alright. I don't hate that exchange. Weird. I would love to draw a Stoneforge Mystic. Not blocking. This is more important as a Cabal Therapy. Stoneforge. Alright, Brainstorm, let's go. It can still be Stoneforge. It can be anything, even a Stoneforge. Oracle and Illusionist. Alright, I'm going to put back Oracle and Illusionist. And I'll play Urza Saga. And I'm going to Therapy Snuff Out next turn using my Narcomoeba. And then play the Illusionist and hope I win. Ponder, that's a good one. Playing against all the removal in their deck versus playing against all the discard in their deck, I guess I Therapy and I get to know if they have discard or not. And I can decide if I'm going to play my Illusionist. They shuffled the Ponder. I'm worried about Wasteland. That's the biggest beat here. Not going to block. Another Strix. Another Brainstorm. Okay, I'm going to Cabal Therapy Snuff Out right now. Snuff Out. Unfortunately, they just Brainstormed. Force of Will, Murktide Regent. Tilt. That's so much worse. Okay. Hard mode activated. I have to draw another Illusionist now. And did they hide Thoughtseize on top of their deck? A Murktide. They wouldn't jam that if they didn't have another blue card. Oh, they're casting a spell. Oh my god. They just had Force blue card and decided, I'm not interested. Against the combo deck? Alright, you're dead. Deal. Alright, yeah. They have Force of Will in their hand, and they can't use it. The Gurmag Angler was already lethal. You did not have to commit Murktide here. Alright, we take these. I am not too proud. I don't want the top card in my deck. Or maybe I did want the top card in my deck, because now if I just randomly draw a stupid Dread Return, I can't win. Oh god, maybe I should have left that on top. Please don't punish me for this. Oh, that was scary. Okay. Yeah. Grab a Shuko. Play the Illusionist, and GG. Off we go. I guess I should have made another construct. There are still 2 Narcomoebas in my deck, but I did use one already, and a construct can be a body for Dread Return. It doesn't matter in this spot, but there are spots where that could matter if I had been down 1 more Narco. Yeah, this is a lesson in combat. Don't play out cards or attack with cards that could be relevant elsewhere, and don't end the game faster. So I did have construct blockers, so the Murktide does take a turn off the clock. Yeah, opponent just said in chat, bad choice to play Murktide. I don't need it to win. Correct. Not to harp on my opponent, as always, just education for the listener, rather than beating up on my opponent is the reason I say these things. Okay, Death Shadow. All the removal comes in. I don't really like Daze. They're not casting big spells, and I have no pressure on their mana base. Force of Will's fine. I'm kind of into Flusterstorm. It's good against discard and counterspells and removal, which are all the things I care about out of their deck. I don't think I can cut all my forces. Teferi's a little worse because they have discard as well as counterspells. I still want it because it's good against the deck, bouncing one of their big dumb creatures and doing more. I like it. I shave a force, and getting 2 for 1 against this deck is tough. Flusterstorm. I think I can slow down and beat them. Shave a Nomads. Because I'm not trying to go fast. They have Snuff Out, Daze, and Force of Will in their deck. Trying to just jam on turn 3 with Daze and maximum redundancy of the combo doesn't seem necessary. And maybe this is one where I shave a step through as well. Okay, let's do it. Experts in Cephalid Breakfast, let me know if I'm thinking about this correctly. I'm just making this up as I go, and that makes sense to me, but could be the exact opposite. Maybe I want every piece of interaction. I want all my forces, all my dazes, ignore the removal for the plows and stuff, and just shove. I could entertain that as a way to win. I will keep this Brainstorm hand. It's not really ideal, but it's not bad enough to send. Thoughts using my Brainstorm would be kind of a beating here. Ponder's fine. Deal. Did not shuffle their Ponder. They are a Wasteland deck, so I want my mana under me first before I just go for a quick Saga. Like we talked about, this isn't the type of matchup where you're just willing to throw a Saga in the graveyard to get a Shuko. I want some constructs. I want to make them respect what I'm doing a little bit. Another island is tempting, but I'm going to get going on Saga. The island is nice because now I can play another stable land and then save my second Saga for another full wave of Saga stuff, rather than just getting 3 constructs out of the 2 if Saga was my 3rd land drop. Ponder from the opponent. Didn't shuffle, they have the Wasteland. Fair enough. I will simply play the same turn next turn. And they don't have enough to delve a Gurmag. They have too much life for a Death Shadow. Basically just took 1 for my trouble there, and drop out all the same thing. Oh, now I can Shuko too. Just plop that in. Let you think about it. Live in fear. They can destroy that somehow, which blue-black is not really good at doing. Then I only have 1 left. Plus the 2 Nomads. But nothing's going to come out of this Saga if there are somehow no Shukos in my deck. They can Gurmag or Murktide here with what's in their graveyard. I think I would force a Giant Threat if they dropped 1 here. Okay, glad I didn't have to do that. Basic Plains, what's up? That gives me so many options. Love it. Okay. Saga is now active. They're going to have to start doing something other than poking with Baleful Strix and cantripping, or they're going to fall behind in my big creatures. There's Zappin and Watery Graves in my end step now. This looks like an opponent who drew a Death Shadow. Plague Engineer. Okay. This can name Wizard or Illusion, both of which mess with my deck. I have the Plow, though. We're cool. Wizard it is. I can just crack into this thing with my 3/3s next turn. Or I guess it'll be 4/4s, unless I draw Shuko. Drew another Narcomoeba. It does hurt the long run. Second Shuko's in, land for turn. They're going to block with Baleful Strix here, but I'm going to make them do it. It's a big hit. If they don't block and just go to 8, they could have big shadows next turn, but Plow clears all that up. And then Shuko up. My other construct, second main. At this point, I am pretty worried about Engineered Explosives. That's a card that would kill all my Shukos in my deck. Snuff out, sure. Yeah, that's fine. I cleared a Strix, I cleared a Snuff out, and I got another Shuko into play, all of which are things that are good value in this deck. Strix doesn't really matter to the combo, but getting a Snuff out of the way is a big deal. Grief. I think I have to Force of Will this. Don't like it. I also lose a Narcomoeba, which I'm kind of running low on here. They are forcing back. Okay, I'm going to have to hide the goods with Brainstorm. Force Pitching Force. Don't daze me. Okay, they didn't daze me. This is actually sick. Narcomoeba. Oh wait, I have to Plow first. All right, it's not that sick. Okay, Narcomoeba and Plow. Oh no. I guess it's Illusionist Plow. Illusionist and Plow go on top of the deck. And then Grief connects. They probably take Stoneforge. I hope they take Stoneforge. That's the card that I don't want to play. Because I don't want to shuffle. I like the top of my deck right now. They did take Stoneforge, good. I will be casting Narcomoeba, plowing the Plague Engineer, and then chilling. Narcomoeba, get in, pick up the weapons. Now there's kind of an awkward dance where, do I plow now? I think I do. I just don't want to deal with Plague Engineer. I don't want to give them a chance to draw a force or untap with a Flusterstorm up. And if they do have force on this, they go to 7, and we're just in a damage race that I'm winning. Okay, they know my card is Cabal Therapy. Ponder, disappointing. Show me a shuffle. Live in fear. It did not shuffle. Fatal Push. There's only one Narcomoeba left in my deck, so I can't even go off here. Alright, maybe we can get the flavor text on Illusionist rockin'. Maybe they'll just concede. That would be cool. Alright, Force Blue card were the last 2 cards in hand. I've got 4 draw steps to basically find Stoneforge Mystic and get Cauldron to play. Or 3 draw steps. This is not usually a Mystic Sanctuary deck. Come on, Stoneforge. Nomads? Not mad about it. I am no mad about that. I am a turn behind on the damage race now, but my deck has removal in it. So now a new plan emerges. Fetching with Scalding Tarn in the end step. Watery Grave, tapped. Bummer. If they had shocked in that Watery Grave, I would have been ahead in the race again. Yeah, I go to 6, they go to 5, I go to 3, they go to 2, then I die. So I need a blocker or removal spell or a way to add to my board presence. And this creature has menace, so I can't just trade with it. That's not helpful. I will attack since I can't block anyway. Opponent's at 5. I'm at 3. Yeah, I need a creature. And it needs to resolve. Preferably Stoneforge Mystic. Ooh, Illusionist is not bad, though. Okay, I'm going to play Illusionist. See if we get a win. They could just hardcast Force here. I didn't have the black for Cabal Therapy. Rest down in response. That's actually fine. Okay. I have stable blockers now. I'm going to move Shuko over to Illusionist so a single Fatal Push doesn't save Grief in combat. And I can shit out Narcomoeba at instant speed here if I need another blocker. A block. And I'm going to use Nomads for its intended functionality here and just prevent 2 damage to it. Okay, they put Nomad first, so I have to prevent 3 damage to it. Prevent 1 damage. Prevent 1 damage. Do I want to keep going till I hit my Narcomoeba or stop at some point? That's the question. I think I want my Narcomoeba. So it could be in the bottom of my deck, which doesn't really help. See a bunch of plows going away here. This is where I mill my whole deck, and Narcomoeba's in the bottom 3 cards. But with the Shukos and an opponent at 5, just having a flying creature on the board is huge. And that plays around alt cast Snuff Out. But they can hard cast Snuff Out, so they don't care. They run out of cards here. There we go. Okay, we got it. Alright, now I'm going to stop. And Illusionist takes 3, Nomad survives, and I have 4 damage on the board against this person at 5. Non-flying creatures don't stabilize here. Like that one. Don't have a Murktide. Don't you do it. Okay, here we go. Narcomoeba beat down. I don't even know if there's a fetchable land left in my deck. I should probably check though. There are 2 Underground Seas in this list, and we've got 1, 2. Okay. The card I'd like to cast. Oh wait. Hardcast Force is huge here. I need to actually figure out how many lands I have. There is Tundra Sea. Tundra Sea. I'm really going to take my time and make sure I do this right, because being right or wrong about this might be the whole game. Tundra. Tundra. I only see 2 Tundras here. I know the 2 Seas are gone. I'm pretty sure there's 3 in the list. Yeah, there are 3 Tundras. Yeah, I think there is a Tundra left in my deck. I'm going to make my attack and hope this Force of Will wins me the game. Narcomoeba in for 3. Opponents at 2. You're up. Can't Thoughtseize. You can fetch, but that's the last life point you can spend this game. Death Shadow is attacking. I am blocking. Okay. Dead on board. At least I think I have Force Up. Pretty sure I have Force Up. Don't care about that. 1 card left. I think we're winning. Narcomoeba beats. Got the GGs. That was a sick game. Once again, quite proud of my play there. I don't know if it's like the weirdness of this deck that causes me to dial in and every little thing matters, and I don't know, but the dial was at 10 for at least 2 of the games in this league. Milling to that one of Narcomoeba that ended up winning the game through combat, just Shuko based combat. When you're playing a deck like this, you do have to find every angle. Shuko seems kind of silly, +1/+0, whatever, but a 3/1 flyer, that's Delver of Secrets, kids. Less toughness, but toughness doesn't matter in Legacy. So just Narcomoeba carrying 2 Shukos gets the game won. I was as impressed behind the wheel of this deck as I am playing against it all the time. This was awesome. It just gives you so many things you can do if you see them all. I think my sideboarding probably needs some honing, but we got where we wanted to go, and generally having a plan at all and sticking to it is better than not having a plan. Even if the plan you're sticking to is not the optimal one, rather than just like, I don't know, here we go. At least commit to something. Knowing when you're the aggro, knowing when you're the control, and this deck can actually just play both. Yeah, this league made me glad that I ordered my Cephalid Illusionist. I have my set in paper now, so this deck is live for future Legacy tournaments, and it will be on my shortlist. Very cool deck. Very cool play patterns. Ruthless when you're not being disrupted, and perfectly playable when you are. Brendan, thank you for asking me to play this. It was something that was on my to-do list anyway, and I'm glad our minds were in the same place. Put up a pretty good league for it. Everybody else, thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, check out the Patreon, and I'll see you for the next one.